You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Welcome to Southern Sisters Radio, the show for Southern women and the men who adore them. Join us as we celebrate life from a Southern point of view. Here's your host, author, founder of Southern Sisters Home, Jenny McCormick Earhart.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Southern Sisters Radio show, the show for Southern women and the men who adore them and us. We got a lot to talk about today.
Oh, yeah, it's a full show today.
It's a full show, and it's a great day in the South. This is unseasonable weather in the South. I don't know for where a lot of our listeners are from a lot of different places. But if you're thinking it's freezing cold, it got a little colder this week. It did.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So I actually had to put the shorts away. What is wrong with this picture?
Yeah, I know. It's definitely weird when you're like, oh, heavy coat. I can put that away.
Right.
Oh, nope. I got to get it back out.
I know.
And I might as well keep it out. And then now.
Mother Nature is messing with our heads. I don't know what to wear. And my boots, I was hot in them last week. It just is not. It doesn't really feel like boot wear. Today's nice and cold, though. And I actually was in the backyard in my fluffy robe and my rain boots today.
In your hiding spot?
In my hiding spot. You may have heard me talk about this before. There's a little spot in my backyard. I'm on a cul-de-sac, so the yards are angled. And, if I'm in my backyard, there's a particular neighbor that can see me. So I've got a little spot on my back porch where I can go out there and take the dog out and not be seen. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so sometimes Dixie doesn't cooperate, my Australian Shepherd. And she's gotten into this really bad habit. It's kind of annoying and kind of strange. I throw the Frisbee for her. And she's one of those Australian Shepherds that I think she's good enough to be in those speed and agility, trials.
Like the shows and stuff like that? Yeah.
That dog can catch some air. She can jump 5 feet to
That's
catch
awesome.
a Frisbee. Yeah, it's amazing. And she comes down and she has really good form, too, when she's in the air. She gets up in the air and then she kind of contorts her body. Almost
That's
like those.
cool.
Who is it that does on the extreme sports, when they go up on those, what are those things called where they go back?
The slaloms or whatever,
Yeah.
like the half pipes.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah, and they get up in the air and they do some quirky thing and come down. She's kind of like that.
Nice.
Showing her form off a little bit in the air. No, she's gotten into this habit of going out. I'll throw the Frisbee. She'll jump. She'll catch it. She'll come down. And then she'll decide it's time to take a potty break. Okay? So she'll kind of prance off into the woods, and you will hear me yelling to her, drop the Frisbee. Dixie, drop the Frisbee. Because otherwise she will take the Frisbee with her. She'll keep it in her mouth as she's doing her dog business. Then she'll drop it right there and then she'll come back to me. And I'll say, Dixie, go get your Frisbee. And she looks at me like, I don't want to go back there. You know what I'm saying? And so here I stand in my robe and my rain boots trying to hide in the backyard, and she won't go get her Frisbee. And I'm thinking, I got to go get the doggone Frisbee. I got to walk across the yard in my fluffy pink robe and my rain boots. Anyway, so yeah, Dixie the crazy dog. Well, guys, we are going to talk a lot about this week what's coming up. We got some exciting things coming up, especially next month. We've got the Pinners Conference that's coming to Atlanta.
That's going to be fun.
I've talked about that a little bit. It is really a big show for Pinterest, for all intents and purposes. Those that are on Pinterest, those that are actively involved in following Pinterest and doing a lot of the creative things that you see on the website. This is going to be a day of 2 days, actually, of classes and exposition and lots of things to buy and purchase. You know, the women like to shop.
Oh, yeah.
Most
Nothing
of us.
wrong with that, but yeah, you're right. It's going to be a really fun show to go see because it's Pinterest. There's going to be a little bit of everything there. I'm sure
there will be everything from food, crafts, home decor. I'm teaching a chocolate class.
Yay.
So we're going to be giving away some tickets starting next week. All right. We've got some prizes, so be sure and tune in for that. I'm also going to be giving you guys a special promo code where you can go and purchase your admission tickets to the Pinners Conference at a discount. This will be held April 21st and 22nd at the Atlanta Galleria.
Very nice.
Or the Cobb. What do they call it now?
I think it's the Cobb Galleria.
Cobb Galleria.
But you just say the Galleria. I think most people
Everybody
know
knows.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, right up there, 285-75 in North, in Atlanta. So it's going to be awesome, and we'll be talking more about that as it gets a lot closer. Also, I was going to mention to you guys, I was reading an article this week about something that my children do a lot of, and something that I have, because I like to think I'm still young at heart, I do a little bit of this too.
Okay.
And it's binge watching.
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you done this?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Who hasn't?
Well, there are some people out there that
yes.
maybe haven't, but I definitely have. Yes, I've done the whole Gilmore Girls, Is that what you watch? I'm guessing not.
Not quite.
No. More of a Breaking Bad kind of.
Yeah.
Me too. I love that show. But anyway, so I was thinking about this concept of binge watching, and it's so very different than the way it used to be. And vastly different than the way it was when I was growing up. I mean, in my household, you had to wait to watch something. If you missed it, let's say you wanted to watch, Carol Burnett show or whatever it was that was on Saturday night. If you missed it, you were out of luck. There was
you started
no way.
hunting, waiting to see if you could find the rerun on the weekend.
Maybe
if it
they
to
rerun
do
it,
that. Yeah.
right? And then, but most of the time, when it's gone, it's gone. There's really no way to go back and watch it. And then I remember when the VCR came out in the 80s, and all of a sudden you could rent a movie and you could watch it anytime you wanted, right?
Yeah.
One movie, you could watch it over and over if you wanted to, right? Binge watching is, in fact, there was an article about it this week on slate.com.
Okay.
And I thought it was very interesting. I was reflecting on what this means to this new generation coming up. And the writer for, I think it's Jim Pagels, he writes for slate.com. He was a little critical of the concept of binge watching a television show.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He was.
Why?
Well, I was thinking about that. Because there are some people who kind of look down at like all you can eat buffets because they feel like, well, no, it's too much at once and you gorge yourself and that's not good. It's almost like he's got that kind of criticism for the concept of binge watching. Here's what he had to say, and you tell me if you agree. Now, first of all, in terms of, I actually looked it up. The definition of binge watching, of course, is watching a particular series, right? Pretty much from beginning to end. In other words, episode after episode, back to back with very little breaks in between.
Yeah.
Other than the obvious bathroom break and maybe stopping to eat occasionally. But for the most part, that's what it is. Uninterrupted watching and can go on for hours and hours and hours or even days.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Have you really?
Yeah, Lost.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my very first experience with binge watching. Yeah, the kids and I basically locked ourselves in the basement one summer and just watched the entire, we were so into it.
You watch it twice and it still doesn't make sense.
Right. It always, it still messes with my head.
It's a confusing show, but it's good.
I remember that summer because Pam came over and she finally called me and she said, I have been standing in front of your house knocking on your door for 20 minutes. Where are you? And I'm like, oh man. We were like holed up in the basement. We were all just analyzing Lost and watching that series, episode after episode. But for the most part, what Slate.com is saying is that binge watching has become a pandemic that has afflicted many of the nation's college students and millennials.
What is the adverse effect of binge watching?
Okay.
That's the question here.
This is what I asked myself because I do find at my advanced and critical age, as I am a little bit more discerning in my old age, that a lot of times people want to take a position on something almost from, I don't know, they just want to be able to take a stand against it.
Just to do it?
Just to do it. You know what I'm saying? Really, is it this much of an issue that it's this bad for us? What they're saying is that the pro to doing binge watching is some people believe that way you completely immerse yourself in the world of your favorite show. Mm-hmm. I could see that like with maybe, what is it? What is I'm drawing a complete blank here. The, why can I remember this? The one about the fantasy world.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah. Thank you.
You're right.
I have watched
it puts you in the zone a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
You really get into it. And then for me, it's hard to have to then wait a week. If you've been watched and then try to go back and watch a season the regular way, you run out of time. So what they're saying, though, is that episodes have their own integrity and that it's blurred by watching several in a row.
For older ones, yes. For newer ones, I disagree because they know people do this now. Mm-hmm. And so the new way that they're filming episodes is more movie related, to sit down and watch it all in one fell swoop.
So they're taking that into consideration.
They absolutely are. You have Netflix.
Another reason
DVRs.
they give cliffhangers and suspense need time to breathe. I'm like, really? You know what? I'll go to the kitchen and get something to drink. That's about all the breathing I need in between episodes. And then number 3 was episode recaps and online communities provide key analysis and insight that you wouldn't get if you're just going from. I don't know.
Watch the show and come up with it on your own. It's a TV show.
You know what I say? Slate.com, quit being so doggone judgmental. I'm going to go home and watch Gilmore Girls tonight.
There you go.
6 hours in a row, baby. That's what I'm doing. Guys, we got a lot to cover in the show today, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Southern Sisters show. I do love me some Whitney.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
She's just awesome.
Yeah.
I've always loved her music. Miss her. Yeah. Another great artist gone too soon.
Very true.
Isn't that the truth?
Very true.
I mean, it makes me so sad to think of what some of these artists that we've lost at these younger ages, what else could they have done in their lifetime?
And it's really interesting to know just how embattled so many of them are. You think, you've got all this money and fame and everything else. Right. Your life is so good.
Right. You should be happy, right?
Money doesn't buy it all.
No, it doesn't. I read somewhere that there's a threshold at which you reach where the next dollar doesn't really give you any incremental happiness.
Like we talked about that.
I think we did. You need enough to meet your needs, maybe be comfortable, but then what you hit a certain point and
it's just extra money.
It's just extra money. And quite frankly, can also invite some issues and problems into your life, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. You got a lot of money. You got a lot of friends.
You can finance the bad.
Exactly.
You can pay for the bad stuff, right? But you know what? Speaking of great women, all right, and I'm Every Woman. I love that song.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we'd talk a little bit today about something that's out there. I don't know if folks can really identify her, but she's called the Alpha Woman.
The alpha female.
The alpha female, right?
It's not something you hear about very often.
We hear alpha male.
Of course.
Right. Dixie and I have had this conversation at home, my dog and I, about Earl, because she treats him like he's the alpha male in the family. Yeah. I mean, she'll sit at his feet. She'll follow him around the house. And I'm like, I'm here. Who feeds you?
Who's the one who throws the Frisbee and then walks into the woods to pick it up?
Exactly. In my robe and rain boots. looking like an idiot. Okay, I do this for you, dog, and she still tends to favor. I guess she favors my husband. I guess I don't have enough alpha female in me. I don't know.
She's a girl dog, right?
She's a girl dog.
They tend to be more inclined to like men.
Yeah, why
and
is
male
that?
dogs are inclined to like women. I don't know. I've noticed that, though.
Well, she and I will talk about that some more. But alpha women are out there. They're everywhere, but they may not be exactly what you think. It's not necessarily the loudest woman in the room, okay, or the most aggressive. We oftentimes think of the alpha as being very dominant. And the alpha woman can definitely have some dominant features, but you might be surprised how she actually earns her position as alpha female. And this isn't like a Mean Girls kind of thing where it's just the mean girl. What was that book? Queen Bees and Wannabes?
Yes.
There was a book that was a while back. This is actually a positive thing. We're putting a very positive sort of twist here on accomplished, confident women and what makes them the alpha woman. So I know that when I say those terms, though, it brings to mind the image of powerful, strapping women, but they're not so easy to spot in a crowd necessarily. Okay, so there's an easy way to locate them. We're going to talk about some of the alpha woman's attributes.
Okay,
and folks out there may determine that they are one or they're not.
Yeah,
they might be a beta female. I think I have some attributes, but not all of them. Now, an alpha woman tends to have what a lot of people refer to as confidence, but it's more of a natural confidence, something that she develops that comes very naturally. She has a natural sense of confidence, and it's the sense of confidence that causes people to pretty much follow her, okay? She kind of garners that respect without having to push too hard for it, okay? People are attracted to that. Now, her confidence is well-earned, okay? And it doesn't cross the line into sort of bravado or cockiness.
Yeah.
That's a different thing altogether, right? Do you remember, I love this, remember Animal House line, fat, drunk, and stupid's no way to go through life, right? Well, same thing here. Loud, bossy, and cocky is no way to go through life either.
Well, that's usually you're trying to compensate for the fact that you're not that confident if you're very bravado and arrogant, stuff
exactly.
like that.
You're compensating for something.
If you're confident, you're kind of quiet and stoic. It's a little bit more the word to look for.
And people often don't think of an alpha male or female as being quiet, and yet he absolutely can be. She can be, right? In this case,
very often, yeah.
Right. So she's confident because of her ability to get the job done properly, and this also attracts positivity. Basically, rather than telling people what you can do, show them what you can do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? People are attracted to action, right? They're not just attracted to promises, right? The person who's actually proven that they know what they're talking about, let's say in the workforce, they can do their job very well, right? You want to know those people, right?
Oh, yeah.
That garners respect, among your peers.
Absolutely.
It's very, very true of women. So a naturally confident alpha woman, she's not abrasive and loud, right? She is able to sort of increase her respect from her friends and her peers just by being accomplished and by doing what she does, not demanding it in any way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, when a confidence is derived from a natural skill level, it's genuine, and skilled observers can always tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a little bit of skill on our part to be able to recognize who is the alpha woman in the group. Why do I admire her, right? Is she someone, you find someone in the group and you're like, I know that person. I like that person. I appreciate what she does. I have respect for her. I'd like to learn more from her or be more like her. Maybe even model yourself after her, all right? And it may not be the person that you think. How about this one, though? The alpha female, also, her actions appear effortless. So it takes a great deal of practice and hard work to make your actions appear effortless. It's a kind of a skill so that you don't look like you're constantly struggling. You see what I'm saying? Or trying to play catch up, like me on the way to the studio today. Definitely was not effortless. But we got a lot of construction going on in Atlanta right now with the traffic.
I know.
I don't handle it well.
I don't either. I have to drive through it all the time.
Yeah, you do. Every day.
But you make a valid point, though, there, that the alpha woman kind of, it's not... It's different in the sense that usually, the man, we got this. And you're right. It's kind of like the almost flowing through it swiftly and, like you said, effortlessly. Really kind of puts that confidence out.
I agree. And this sort of inspires loyalty in other people also, especially those that report to her. If she's not freaking out, you know what I'm saying? If she's not flipping out, if she's rolling with the punches a little bit, life doesn't always go the way we want it to do. But if she navigates those things without getting too upset, navigating them with ease, I think that garners a lot of respect.
Absolutely.
We want to be around people who appear to have it all together.
Oh, yeah.
Right? She can do these things without falling apart. Right? Now, she allows, listen to this, I love this part though. She allows life's natural ebbs and flows to guide her decision as opposed to trying to force things to happen. She's acutely aware of the fact that nothing works when it is forced and remains balanced in her own decision making. An alpha woman knows when to make that extra push, right? And she also knows how to fall back, giving life a chance to unfold as it should. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I was raising kids. You got to kind of know when you need to let them suffer like the natural consequences. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
It is tough, right? You know,
but you're right.
You want to step in and kind of force it, but sometimes, and knowing the difference, you know, it's almost like the equivalent to parenthood would be the child is getting ready to run into the street. Yes, that's when you jump in.
You don't want them to get hit by a car.
You don't want them to get hit by a car. So you are proactive there. There might be other occasions. Let's say a child is having an issue with someone at school. You might want to wait and see if they can work it out on their own.
I dealt with this last week. You're sitting on the banister on the porch. Don't do that. You're going to fall off and hurt yourself. Don't do that. You're going to fall off and hurt yourself. You know what? You fall off and hurt. I don't want to hear it. They fell off. They cried. I don't want to hear it.
I told you so.
Not going to hurt yourself. It's only like a 4-foot drop, but I told you so.
I know. Well, you know what? That's got to hurt. That kind of leads into the next one, which basically is tell it like it is. All right. Now, this is one where Southern women face a little bit of a challenge. Okay. So for you alpha females out there that are also Southern, you're walking a fine balance here because people are typically drawn to people who speak truth, right? Okay. We don't like people that we know are kind of blowing smoke, right? Okay. But we definitely know that an alpha woman has a tendency to tell things like they are and not sugarcoat them. Yeah. All right. She's not interested in sugarcoating things just to spare other people's feelings. Now, the Southern woman walks a fine line here because we were born and raised to be polite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think Southern ladies can do the whole telling the truth and telling it straight, but you do it more
right.
Diplomatically might be the right word.
I agree. See, I think you can accomplish the same thing without being so blunt.
Yeah.
You can speak truth without being harsh.
Exactly.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's one way that I differ, I think, in the sort of assessment that an alpha woman is doesn't care about feelings and has no problem being blunt. I don't know. I think you can accomplish the same thing and still maintain a certain measure of decorum and politeness.
Absolutely. Kind of that pull off into the corner and, listen, honey, this is the deal. This is what we need to work on. What do you think? Versus just, you suck.
Exactly. And I think Southern women particularly are pretty good at saying something, critiquing in a pleasant way.
Yeah.
Nothing
Absolutely.
wrong with that, right? How about this? The ability to utilize constructive criticism. An alpha woman can give it and she can take it. And it goes both ways. She can give the criticism. She also doesn't crumble and fall like a snowflake, to use a contemporary term that you've heard a lot in the news lately. She doesn't become a snowflake when criticized.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? She can take it in, right? Assess the critique and apply what she thinks is relevant and discard what isn't and not get upset about it.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? I totally agree.
Absolutely.
She never competes with other women. Now, this one's hard. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that this one is necessarily practical because I think we typically compete to some level almost always.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily judge ourselves continually against someone else's
I think that's the difference. You see what someone else is doing, say, I want to do it that way, then you hold yourself to that new standard.
Exactly.
It's a little different.
It's all in how you look at it, right? So, guys, are you, women out there, an alpha woman? What do you think? We're going to put some of these guidelines on the website. If you're curious and would like to read a little bit more about it, go to SouthernSistersHome.com, and we'll be right back.
Turn off the telly, Nelly. Come to the table, Mabel. Now sit up straight, Kate. It's time to eat, Pete. Have a banana, Hannah. Try the salami, Tommy. Get with the gravy, Davy. Everybody eats when they come to my house.
Welcome back to the Southern Sisters radio program. Everybody eats, especially me, at my house. Dixie eats too. I do this. I'm so bad. This is so bad.
Do you give her table scraps?
You know what? I really can't because she's watching her weight. She wants to maintain her girlish figure.
I understand.
So she's being very careful. No, actually, she has a grain allergy. No, but what I do this, I feel sorry for her. She can only eat this dried food. I mean, it's very healthy. It's all meat, no grain or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very good for her. But I just keep putting myself in her shoes. Would I want to eat the same meal every single day? My entire life?
I might if it was Sloppy Joe's.
If it was Sloppy Joe's.
I might be okay
right?
with that.
I know. That's what we're talking about today. That is what we are talking about. Guys, in case you didn't know it is National Sloppy Joe Day. Yes. And as well it should be. I do think that the Sloppy Joe is worthy of a national holiday.
Yes, totally agree.
The banks should close. The schools should shut down.
Send a letter to your representative and senator.
Please do. Right. There should be parades in the street for Sloppy Joes. I love them. I do. I have got probably 10, 15 different recipes for Sloppy Joes at my house, including my grandfather's recipe, which is wonderful, which is kind of an interesting recipe. It had like chili sauce and evaporated milk in it, which I know that sounds strange. But that gave it almost a creaminess to it, to the sauce, which I love, and I still make it a good bit. But I've got one today that is my all-time favorite. Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a hybrid recipe. I do that. I'll have 4 or 5 recipes, and I'll pull what I like. I don't know if y'all do that, but I'll pull what I like out of different recipes and kind of put it together for my own new sort of incarnation.
Make like a mega recipe.
Yeah,
there
right?
You go.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, there are no rules in recipes. That's what people need to realize. And that's coming from someone who writes cookbooks. I often tell people, if you don't like one of my recipes, tweak it till you do.
Yeah.
Play around with it.
Absolutely.
Right? No, the Sloppy Joe police are not going to come knock on your door if you don't, make it a certain way. And quite frankly, as much as I don't mind a store-bought convenience, this recipe is much better than opening a can.
Don't get me wrong. Manwich is good, but something better about making it yourself.
Something a little bit better. We're going to do a whole Sloppy Joe recipe during this segment today. We're going to just round out the meal with my superb Sloppy Joes. We're going to do some homemade potato chips.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
It's not hard. And we're going to do a roasted corn salsa with avocado. That's actually in my second book that is wonderful and super simple to make. We're just going to pull it all together. It's happy food. That's how I describe it. Yeah, my kids were always excited when I told them I was making
Plus, this is like kind of warm weather food. It's just right around the corner.
I know,
It's going to start warming up, maybe, depending on how Georgia feels about it.
We don't know, do we? We really have no idea.
It's supposed to be warming up
It could be anything. I'm not even bothering to put my clothes away, my winter clothes. It's all in there.
I know.
One day it's shorts, the next day it's, whatever. Boots and
6
coats.
layers.
6 layers. Always important to layer. Guys, we're going to start off with the Sloppy Joe recipe, and this will be on the website. Okay, so if you want to get this recipe later, if you're driving in your car, we don't want you to, get too distracted. You can go to southernsistershome.com and click on the blog to get this fabulous Sloppy Joe recipe. What you're going to do, are you ready?
Here we go.
Buckle your seatbelts. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter to a large skillet or a Dutch oven. I prefer to use a Dutch oven. And you're going to add 2.5 pounds of ground beef and cook it till it's browned. Got it? You're going to drain most of the fat off and throw that away. You're then going to add 1 large diced onion, 1 diced green pepper, and 4 cloves of minced garlic. You're going to cook that for a few minutes until the vegetables begin to soften down just a little bit, right? You're going to add 1.5 cups of ketchup, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of chili pepper, 2 teaspoons of dry mustard, and about 1 cup of water. We got to wet this thing down a little bit. You're going to stir to combine everything and simmer it for about 15 minutes, right? You're going to add a little salt and pepper to taste, and then you're going to stir in about 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. I usually make Sloppy Joes the same way that I make spaghetti, and I just use that tomato paste again. Tomato paste. Anything that only calls for a few tablespoons of something out of a can, I find some way to use up the rest of whatever's left. Yeah. That's just good. That's just good economics, in my opinion. You're going to stir in about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and a couple or 10 shakes of Tabasco. I likes it hot.
Yeah, I don't do spicy like that, so I'd have to keep it down to 1 or 2.
I'm guessing you're not putting any chopped jalapenos, and you could. I would put some of that in.
Tell you what, my girlfriend would be totally okay with that. She likes the spicy stuff.
Good
I'm a wimp. I'm a wimp.
No, it's okay. We all like something, and I'm not gonna tease you at all about that today. So you're gonna sort of adjust these seasonings as you like, and simmer it all till it's nice and hot. I love to take the buns for the Sloppy Joes, brush them with a little bit of butter, and put them on a skillet.
Ooh.
Right, butter side down on a skillet, and toast them up. Get them kind of toasted up a little bit there and buttery.
About that. That sounds delicious.
It gives a little bit of crunch around the edges, a little texture. It's delicious. There you go. Now, if you are really feeling like, taking a walk on the wild Sloppy Joe side, I would actually heap all that Sloppy Joe mixture on top of the bun. I'd lay a slice of pepper jack cheese.
Oh.
You could even then pop it under the broiler and just melt that cheese a little bit.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, you wouldn't do this, but I would even maybe throw a couple of sliced jalapenos on there. Hello, beautiful.
That does sound good, though. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you know what? The pickled ones are not as hot as the fresh.
I have learned that.
Big difference.
I like the jalapeno taste. It's just the heat. I'm not a fan.
Well, you know what? If you ever want to put jalapeno in something, just cut it in half and scoop out the seeds and the membranes. That's where all the heat is. Right? The rest of it, the rest of it, you just got some good jalapeno flavor without so much heat.
Something new today. Thank you, Jenny.
On the Southern Sisters Show. We're full of information.
I can enjoy jalapenos without crying now. Yay!
Little crying's good for me. I mean, I'm telling you, when I eat something spicy, my nose starts running, my eyes. I have to have a box of Kleenex. It's pitiful. I'm sitting there eating my spicy food the whole time, grabbing Kleenex and blowing my nose and wiping my tears. My husband just rolls his eyes at me. What is wrong with you?
My girlfriend does the same thing.
That can't be good. I go, oh, it's so good. It's so good.
It's like, what?
I'm honking into my Kleenex.
Pain.
I know, right?
It's good pain.
What's wrong with it?
Okay.
What about homemade potato chips?
See, that always seems like it would be so hard. Like you got to slice them the right way.
Well,
and this
you do
and that
need to slice them thin, but not as thin as you think. You can do it with a sharp knife. If you have a mandolin, I mean, they make some cheap mandolins out there. You can just kind of, do that little, slice them that way. If you have a good sharp chef's knife, just cut them into like 1/8 inch pieces.
Okay.
That's all you really need. Now, of course, homemade potato chips are full of natural potato flavor, and these chips are the perfect accompaniment to our to our Sloppy Joes. All right. So a 1/8 inch thickness ensures a potato chips that's both hearty and crisp. You won't be able to eat just one, I promise.
Okay.
Or 5 or 10. You need 2 large baking potatoes, peeled or not peeled. That's up to you.
Okay.
I've done it. I've been lazy and just not bothered to peel them, and they're delicious.
Sometimes the skin's good.
Cut it into 1/8 inch slices with a mandolin or a sharp knife. I prefer peanut oil for frying. You can use the oil of your choice, right? A little kosher salt, some cracked black pepper. That's all you need. Now, you're going to fill a heavy-duty pot with enough peanut oil to a depth of 3 inches. And you're going to heat the oil to 350 degrees. Now, if you're doing this on the stovetop, sometimes it's good to drop that little thermometer in there so you can kind of gauge that.
Double check.
See what I'm saying? After slicing, you want to pat the potato slices dry with a paper towel. That's important before you drop them into that oil.
Okay.
It'll keep it from spattering. Add the potatoes to the pot in 2 to 3 batches and fry them until they're golden brown. Just lift them out, drain them on paper towels, sprinkle them with kosher salt and pepper, and you want to either serve them immediately or store them in an airtight container. Heavenly.
That sounds good. And
it's not.
That sounded easy.
No. Oh, see? See, that's the thing. It's like that whole thing with the whipped cream. Remember, I was raised on Cool Whip? And I was like, I didn't even know I didn't even know how you made real whipped cream until I was probably 18. And then I'm like, I've told my mother, you have been holding out on me.
It seems intimidating, but
right?
You made it sound easy. I think I could do that.
It's
I can
wonderful.
handle that.
Now, you know what we can do to round out we need some veggies on our plate. Because as every good Southern woman knows, you need a little green or a little yellow, some kind of veggie on your plate, right? So we're going to talk today about a roasted corn salad with avocado.
Ooh.
Now, this gives you the taste of summer, even in the winter here. So it tastes like summer in a bowl. It showcases some of the best ingredients: roasted corn, right? A little green pepper, some avocado. You want to whisk together a fabulous vinaigrette. I use this vinaigrette for lots of recipes. You need a 3/4 cup of olive oil, 4 tablespoons of lime juice, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of chili powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper.
Okay.
Whisk that together and just set it aside. You're going to need 6 ears of fresh corn, the husks removed. You're going to brush the corn with some olive oil, place them on a baking sheet in the oven and roast them for about 30 minutes until they begin to brown. Your oven needs to be about 400 degrees. I'll tell you what I've started doing. I've just been skipping the baking sheet. I've been putting my corn right on the grates in the oven.
Oh.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
All right.
Okay. You allow them to cool when they come out, and then on a cutting board, remove the corn from the ears using a sharp knife. Now, in a large mixing bowl, you're going to combine the corn. You're going to combine 3 cups of grape tomatoes, a 1/2 of a chopped red onion, a 1/2 of a green pepper chopped, and 1 medium avocado, peeled, pit removed, and cut into small chunks. A 1/2 cup of fresh cilantro, chopped, and about a half a pound of feta cheese crumbled. Combine it all, drizzle that amazing lime vinaigrette over the top, toss it together, serve it immediately. Or refrigerate it for later.
Really good.
It's really, really, really good. Sloppy Joe's, homemade potato chips, and roasted corn salad, y'all. It's time to eat.
Yes, it is.
And we'll be right back.
Oh, do have a bagel. Now, don't be so bashful, Nashville. Everybody eats when they come to my house. Hey, this is a...
And welcome back to the Southern Sisters Radio Show. Oh, now don't turn off the dial. I'm going to talk about something that might make some of you, well, a little uncomfortable. You might think, oh, she's going to talk about it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I hate it. You're one of those people, actually.
I am definitely one of those people.
Okay. I don't want you to be afraid, though, because I'm going to take a little of the mystery out of it, and I'm going to talk about some of the benefits of, yes, spring cleaning. Oh, I know. I used to be really cool in Nick's eyes, and now I'm just kind of like that crazy lady that likes to clean.
Well, I'm putting some faith here in you that you will make me less angsty about the spring cleaning.
God. You know what? I think it's all in your attitude. And also, I'm a real big fan of taking things that you don't like to do and finding ways to make them fun. Mm-hmm. Okay? So usually with spring cleaning, it's just one of those things. The weather starts to get a little bit warmer. Mm-hmm. Ignore the fact that the weather in the South has been crazy this year. But normally cold winter months, the house has been locked up a lot, right? All winter long. The windows have been shut, the doors, everything's airtight, right? And then you get that first day where, the temperatures are warming up. Maybe it's breezy outside. Do you ever open the windows in your house and just let it?
Of course.
Okay.
What, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I know, right? Once again.
But you're right.
This is a little atypical, right? But normally, and you figure spring cleaning, I mean, the concept of that was that it was a time to sort of throw open the windows, out with the old dust, the old winter germs, right? And in with the fresh air and everything's new and clean and shiny again, right?
That's the goal.
One of my keys to getting through a day of spring cleaning is number one, believe it or not, music.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I crank the stereo so it is playing throughout the whole house. Right. I plan something fun, maybe for lunch that I'm going to bring in or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to stop. It's something I can eat quickly. Yeah. I try to do it on a day when nobody's going to bother me. Yeah. Unless I'm recruiting help in the house, like from the kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they're up and out now. They don't necessarily return home to spring clean.
A lot harder to recruit
with me
right?
anymore. But I personally love spring cleaning. It's an opportunity to kind of throw open the windows, let in some fresh air, and make our homes clean again. Here's some tips on how some of the things that maybe we should do. It's not part of our regular cleaning, right? Mm-hmm. But it's something we should probably do once or twice a year just to keep our home spick and span and looking good. Okay, so definitely one thing that people don't think about when it comes to cleaning. We think about the things we do every day: the floors, the counters, the vacuuming, right? The carpets, things like the light fixtures, dusting the light fixtures.
True.
Okay. Have you ever been sitting, and I did this, have you ever been in a room and you look up at the light fixture and you're like, oh my word, when there are 10 dust bunnies hanging off the edge, right? Yeah. It happens. Okay, so if you got your honey in the house with you, I always tell my husband, you can't get on a ladder unless I'm there with you. I hear too many stories about people falling off of ladders. Yeah. But you get one person to stand at the bottom of the ladder, the other person goes up. This is a great time to dust off the light fixtures in your house.
And see, that's the thing. That's why I'm not a huge fan of spring cleaning, because I'm tall. I'm a bigger guy.
Yeah.
And I usually get handed the little extendable duster thingy, and they're like, just reach.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, do you know what you can do if you've got globes? You can take those off and stick those in the dishwasher. I've done that. Oh yeah, I pulled them off.
I just would be so worried about them getting busted or something.
No, well, I'm a bit of a risk taker. I don't know if you know that about me. You wedge them in there very carefully or put them in the top rack. Yeah, I've done that before. It's wonderful. Also, how about this? How often do you wipe off your doorknobs and your switch plates?
Huh.
Right? I mean,
wow.
We don't think about that so much. Yet think how many people touch those things. Right?
Good point.
How many little germy fingers have been touching that thing all winter long, right?
I have 3 kids. Lots of germy little hands.
Another good thing to do during spring cleaning is to wipe down your doorknobs and your switch plates. How about the coat closet? Have you thought about that? All right? Good time to go in, pull everything out of the coat closet. right? Store the out-of-season things, donate things you don't need, throw out things you don't need, okay? That's not something you clean every week, but it's certainly something that maybe once a year you kind of go through those closets.
And if your coat closet's like mine and it has a little shelf on the top, and I'm thinking about it now, you should probably take the things down and wipe that shelf off.
Not a bad idea.
I've never...
Or ask yourself, have I even used the things that are in there?
That's also a
right.
good question.
It's a really good time. How about this? A lot of people don't think about their doormats. Okay, this is another thing that I put on my spring cleaning list is to either take that thing and shake it out, or sometimes it needs to be replaced if it's just really ratty and nasty. You know, they say the best way to keep dust and dirt off the floor of your house is to have a doormat on the outside and the inside.
Yes.
Catch it two ways, right?
They still get raggedy, though.
Yeah.
It still happens.
Got to replace them every now and then. That can be part of your spring cleaning project, right? Now, I always encourage throughout the whole house and every room when you're cleaning, like especially if it's a pretty day, open those windows, air out the house, okay? When you're going closet to closet, remove everything from the closets, sweep and wash the closet floor, put everything back neatly, and once again, this is a good time to identify what you don't need anymore. It's a great time to clean out. When I do this, I am literally dragging a big black trash bag behind me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because inevitably I find things that I thought I wanted that I don't want anymore, and out they go. How about this in the bedroom? Moving the bed, all right? Or at least getting down on all fours and sticking the vacuum cleaner up underneath the bed. A lot of times we just vacuum up to the edge, right? This is a good time to get underneath the bed. People don't think about their mattress. Do you know that there are ways to clean your mattress that don't involve hauling it away someplace?
Really?
Listen to this tip, guys. So for your spring cleaning to freshen up your mattress when you're changing your sheets, try sprinkling your mattress with a little bit of baking soda, right? Let it sit and then vacuum it up. Freshens and deodorizes your mattress. Yes.
Wow.
How about that? How about this?
So
is
simple.
Yes, right?
Wow.
I know. So how about also this? Laundering your bedding, okay? There are parts of the bed that we tend not to wash as often. The dust ruffle. You're a guy. Do you know what a dust ruffle is?
Are you talking about the bed skirt?
I knew it. No guy seems to know what a dust ruffle is.
Skirt.
You were right.
It goes between the mattress and the box spring, and it kind of hangs down a little bit.
Okay, you do know.
But you're right. I mean, you change your sheets, and you don't change
You don't
that
think
thing
about
half
no.
the time.
But they're machine washable. You can throw that in the washing machine also, or the shams that are on the outside of your the fancy pillows, right?
The pillows we can't use.
Exactly. How about your picture? Are you not allowed to use them?
We have one or two.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to use.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're pretty.
I know.
They're there for looking good. Now, how about this concept? Taking out, how about the window screens? If you've got some window screens on the house that maybe the ones that you like to open the windows and get some fresh air, pull those things out. I like to hose them off with a garden hose, right? Because they get incredibly dirty and dusty.
Yeah, I think they have the whole outside.
Here's another spring cleaning thing that you can do. A lot of people ignore the artwork that's hanging on their walls or their mirrors. The frames.
The picture frames on the wall.
Picture frames. They catch dust. So you know that handy-dandy, long, dusty thing you were talking about? That's perfect to go around
I really hope my girlfriend's not listening to you right now.
Rebecca, are you listening?
All these tall, high objects and long reach needed for things.
Rebecca, I'll email you the list. I'll email it to you. You give it to Nick when he gets home, okay? He's going to hate me. He's going to hate me. Okay, how about this? Do you even think about the vent covers and the floor registers for your central air conditioning?
Actually, yes.
How about
because
that?
the 8-year-old has some asthma issues, and that's something that they specifically said. Go through and clean out the vents. You can get your air ducts cleaned, too, from the professional service people. That's not a bad idea this time of year.
I think it's a fantastic idea. Once again, don't ignore those light fixtures, okay? You got them in every room of the house, and a lot of times you don't even think to look up there, until you've got spiders coming down.
And then you do look up, and you're,
what was that? What was that? Oh, just like that. Just like that. How about the mini blinds? You guys have either plantation shutters or mini blinds or of some kind, right? Those get terribly dusty. It's not something you clean every week, but, on your spring cleaning day, you get listen to some talking heads on the radio.
There you go.
Right? You get wild and crazy with cleaning those blinds.
Just knock them down.
Have at it. Let's move on into the kitchen, okay? Now, we know that we wash our dishes and our utensils. How often do we pay attention to our utensil drawers? Those little dividers, those things like that. A lot of this can go in the washing machine. At the very least, you need to empty those out, right? Take out those containers, shake them out, wipe out the inside of that drawer before putting everything back neat and organized, right? This is a good time, guys, springtime, to sanitize your cutting boards. Okay.
Yes.
Right? And there are lots of ways to do that. Baking soda is a great way. Some people use lemon. Believe it or not, I have a couple of really great acrylic white cutting boards that I love, and sometimes they get stained from tomatoes or things like that. I'll put them in the sink, and I'll do a combination of bleach and water and pour that over them and let it sit. I come back, that thing is sparkling white.
Wow.
Rinse it really, really good, and
Very
wash it
nice.
afterwards. That's right. Sharpening your knives. Okay, this is a good time of the year to start thinking about maybe sharpening your kitchen knives, right? Because sometimes those things get neglected. The safest knife is a sharp knife.
Very true.
A dull knife is actually not as safe.
Yeah, because you'll get snagged and hung, and then you cut yourself because you jerked. Or,
exactly.
Yeah,
you tend to if it's not cutting the way it should, you tend to overcompensate for a dull knife by putting more pressure, and that's where, people lose fingers. It's not a pretty sight. How about cleaning and organizing the pantry? Now, I may be weird, but nothing makes me happier than an organized pantry. I am weird, but no, it's true, right?
Yeah, it's the whatever organizational method you've got, you want it that way, and it makes a bit. And then same thing before. There's some things that sit in the back of your pantry you don't touch, and it's got dust building up back there. Just take it out, knock it out, take care of it. You're all good.
It's a good time of year to think about that.
Yeah.
So while you're thinking about your spring cleaning, you can be thinking about maybe looking at the expiration dates on some of those items in your pantry.
Very true.
How about the expiration dates on those items in your medicine cabinet? Another good thing. Right?
Absolutely.
Take your trash bag there and clean that thing out also.
Yep.
How about underneath the fridge or underneath the stove?
That's
Do you
a
ever
biggie.
think about that?
It's a biggie.
Yeah, that's where you find everything you spilled in the last year, right?
it's
it's creeping underneath, right? Well, guys, if you have any great spring cleaning tips, we would love to hear. This is Nick's favorite subject. Maybe, we should make this a weekly topic. What do you think?
I think we should.
Cleaning segment.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe a hint here or there.
Nick is going to ask to be reassigned. That is for sure, if I do
My
that.
to-do list just keeps growing.
Guys, we are so happy that you were here to join us on the Southern Sisters Radio Show this week. Shoot us an email. Let us know what you think. radio@southernsistershome.com and visit our website, southernsistershome.com. Have a great week.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls? Start saving thousands in interest and fees and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Hey, KLRN radio family, this is Jenny Earhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Jenny Earhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.